All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another live stream. And today is a special one. We've got a match preview for the Newcastle United
Hmm.
match with West Ham United at St James's Park. I'm joined by Strasbourg Steve. Say hello.
That's
Um,
good, man. That's good.
Obviously, you're talking a bit off camera, but how you doing, man? Like with
Uh,
Newcastle, with life in general, like
pretty solid, bro.
yeah,
Just doing my thing. Yeah, nothing really too crazy going on, which is nice. But yeah, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Hope you're good as well, bro. Hope you're good as well.
yeah, man, all good, all good. Just tagging along, but luckily international break is finally over. I don't have to watch, you know, England just play Lewis Dunk against Romelu
You're in the
Lukaku and all that.
England camp.
Yeah,
Hard
I'm
life.
not. Yeah, I'm just tagging along with England and West Ham. You know,
Hard
it's
to
like
watch,
watching the same
bro.
manager.
That's hard
It's
to
like
watch.
it's like watching the exact same manager for both club and country for me. That's what it feels like. But no, with Newcastle at home against West Ham, bro, how are you feeling with Newcastle's chances? You know, this weekend is 12:30 UK time. How are you feeling going into it?
Man, not good at all. And the mood of the club also with the Tonali news. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but that
Yeah,
has come I I think I saw like a month ago that the FA were looking into Tonali and it was like there could be charges and I was prepared for it, but I just didn't know when it was coming. So it's one of those where it's like you can prepare for something and be like, all right, there's more, there's gonna be charges coming up like separately, and it's gonna get worse. Right? This it's not good. But it's not like, oh, on what is it? What's today? What's today? March 28th, 2 days before, Newcastle play West Ham United, we're gonna announce what we're doing with Sandro Tonali. There's no date. It just can't. So I came out of nowhere and wham, like a fucking
yeah,
hammer, just bam. And I'm just like,
yeah.
well, yeah. So, no, I don't feel good, and the mood of the club is down. We don't play well for in 12:30 kickoffs, anyways.
No.
Our home form is not as electric and consistent as it once was. Many reasons for that. Some reasons people don't really want to talk about, but I don't feel good at going into the game really at all.
Hmm.
To be honest, I really don't. I'm happy to watch Newcastle again, but am I optimistic? No, quite frankly,
I think
no.
this all sets up for a cagey game. To be honest, like both
Yeah.
both clubs are not really the happiest, but it's the 12:30, and you got all these players from worldwide. You got internationals. Both teams got internationals coming back, and we don't know who's fully fit. We don't know who's fully rested. They're all traveling back, and we're just straight for a 12:30 kickoff after international break. It's just going to set up for a cagey game for me, and
Mm,
I don't know how you feel about Eddie Howe, because there's such a big debate every time Newcastle either lose, win, or
yeah.
whether he can take you to the next level in general. There's always been a debate since he's been appointed. How are you
Mm.
feeling about the manager this season?
I like him a lot, but unfortunately, I don't think he's the guy to win us Premier Leagues and
Mm,
titles and stuff. I think I would make the change in the summer, or you could do it now, whenever. Yeah, I think it's Ryan's course. Look, I'm very thankful. Like, Newcastle, bro, supporting Newcastle before Eddie Howe was completely miserable. First year that I started supporting Newcastle was 17-18, and that
mm,
was Rafa. That was Iosi Perez, Rondon, and all these guys. And that wasn't fun to watch.
no,
And so every season up until 22-23, I was like, just keep us in the league. Keep us in the
yeah,
fucking league. That's all I asked for. Because I was like, we're just terrible. We're just genuinely terrible. Like, I became a Newcastle fan, not by choice, but
oh,
because one of my mom's friends works at a bakery. He's from the area. He made me. So I wasn't.
okay,
I didn't choose this. I didn't choose this, bro. And I can see why I didn't, because it wasn't fun. But 22-23, incredible. Very disappointing, definitely to lose the cup final, the Carabao Cup final, Man United. Heartbreaking. But overall, like, yeah, like compared to what I've seen, incredible. So, but then this season, this one hurts more than others because I thought maybe we could do something. Maybe we can get an FA Cup. Let's see what we could do in the Champions League. Let's see what we could do Carabao Cup. Premier League places I'm not too bothered by because I'm a in it to win it kind of person. And I was like, I don't
Yeah.
think we have the squad or manager, but like whatever, try to get as high up as possible, get champs, Europa League, conference, whatever. But yeah, this season's had some like highs, definitely, but it feels a long, long time ago when we were beating Paris Saint-Germain 4-1.
Yeah.
Going away to the San Siro and getting a 0-0 draw, first Champions League game in 19, 20 years. Beating Manchester United at home 1-0, and then in the Carabao Cup beating them 3-0 with 6 fullbacks on the pitch. Beating Arsenal 1-0, and playing some good games and looking all right. But I mean, this isn't just bad form of a month or 2 months. It's been 3 months of really patchy, dodgy defeats in very similar style, and it's just like the manager definitely has a hard scenario. I will not say that this is easy or that this is, I mean, the chaos of this season is uniquely Newcastle in some senses, but I think he could do better. I think we could do better, to be honest. So for me, the manager, I like the manager. I don't think he's bad, but I do think there's some big problems, and I think it's probably best to move on. Thanks for doing what you did. But yeah, I would move on personally.
Is the fact that you're underachieving this season more down to the manager, or is it more down to the context of the fact that you've had a lot of injuries and there's been a lot of stuff, even with the Tonali thing going on, and you've got out of the Champions League now? Is it more down to the manager? Could the manager have done more? Could he have done better? What could he have done?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes, definitely. If I had to pick one, obviously it's both. Obviously it's both. But if I had to side with one more than the other, probably would lean towards the manager because of when you look at, because people will say, first thing, injuries. All right, yes, that's been extremely difficult to cope with. However, some of it has been made worse by technical staff, training staff, or Eddie Howe himself of bringing on players too damn quickly and not providing the certain amount of rest time that you need from these injuries. Like almost all of our players have been mismanaged in some way this season. Jacob Murphy coming on against Borussia Dortmund, getting injured, and then 2-3 weeks later with the shoulder problem. I think it was a game against, I want to say, Palace.
Yeah.
I want to say it was against Palace. He brought him on as a late sub, and then he got injured within 5 minutes. It's like stupid stuff like that. Isak has had some injury problems. The whole Botman thing for me is just like, why are we? This guy's clearly been playing with an injury because he didn't look very good. He did not look good.
I didn't know.
Last season, Sven Botman was unbiased here. He was one of the better center halves in the league, top 5, best performing center halves in the league. In this year, he's bottom 5. He looks like a bottom 5 center back. Clumsy, bad decision making, poor clearances, not as crisp and accurate on the ball. Like, just did not look good. Did not look good at all. And this was from early in the season. He had about a 3 or 4 months he was out, and he gets rushed straight back in when Jamal Lascelles was playing all right.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
It's stuff like that. It's the whole Lewis Hall thing. When we're on our when we're dead on our feet, and we have Livramento and the same 11. That's that same 11 of Miley, Bruno, Longstaff, Gordon, Almiron, Isak, Trippier, Cher, Botman, and Livramento, because Dan Burn was out of that time during the PSG away leg. That same 11, roughly that same 11. I don't think I got it exactly right, but that general same 11 started about 5 games in a row, midweek weekend. I'm thinking about the time during we got smacked up at Goodison on a Thursday, and then on a Sunday we got smacked up 4-1. Same exact 11. Same exact 11. When we had a Lewis Hall, when we had guys that were able to still come on just so that the guy could get some sort of rest. And it's just stuff like that where it's just so frustrating. Like the whole, like I said, the Lewis Hall thing. Why in that time period did we not rotate and give Lewis Hall some minutes? Why is he been getting pocket change minutes And it's like, because I don't know, maybe it has to do with him and the obligation to buy, that we don't know what the obligation to buy is. Do we not know our budget? Then it's like, why did we bring the guy if we weren't convinced by him? Because clearly we were convinced somewhat by Livermento. That's a whole issue in and of itself, of the fact that Dan Burn this season, at post back injury, he's not been as good at left back anymore. And also with the absence of Joe Ellington, you should be playing Tino Livermento. It would be like Postecoglou at Spurs, not playing Udogie at left back. Exciting, talented, bright, a very good player on the ascendancy. It'd be like benching him for Ben Davies. Everybody would think that's stupid. But that's what Eddie Howe's doing with this Dan Burn thing. You're playing an older, aging, more defensive left back who's not as talented, maybe a veteran presence, whatever. But you have Livermento, a very promising, again, like Udogie, an ascending, really, really, it looks like a special fullback. Why is he not a locked, guaranteed starter in the team? That's silly. So it's all this stuff like that, bro. And Trippier taking a penalty in the cup game against Chelsea right after, a few minutes after he just screwed up for Mudryk to tap it in. Why is he taking a penalty and not like fifth or sixth? Yeah. But here's the thing with that. I don't know if that was a manager decision or his decision, because I expect the player, even if he did just screw up, I expect him, and I think so, because me and you and others know about Trippier's character. He is that guy to be like, I will, I messed up, I'm going to take the penalty. I would think less of him if he was said, no, I don't want to. But the manager needs to say, no, I'm taking that decision away from you. I'm the manager. I pick the 5 shooters. If we go to sudden death, we'll figure that out. It's just stuff like that, bro. It's stuff like that that has cost us certain in certain competitions. I can think of the Milan, and I know I'm going on and on, but this is the last thing. The Milan game.
Yeah.
Day 6. We have a 1-0 lead, and we're playing back and forth, and there's no in-game management. There's no taking the sting out of the game. Allowing Chukwueze to come on the pitch. Pioli made some subs. I think also subbed on Pobega, and that changed the game completely. Talking about Liverpool earlier in the season, where we're 1-0 up and a man up for 70-odd minutes. Take off Tonali, ironically, when he was one of the better players in that game, bringing on Longstaff, lose control of the game, Nunez, bang, bang. It's stuff like that Eddie Howe, he should be doing better. For me.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of similarities to my manager and your manager when it comes to in-game management. Jesus Christ. Like, I think a lot there's been a lot of times where I've watched Newcastle and I've been like, you could go on to kill the game here. And then there's been certain substitutions that have been like, you've actually just reverted back. You've actually just let all the pressure come onto you. Yep. And that the Milan game was one of them. And obviously you're around this section of the table where a lot of teams also have had a lot of injuries as well. But
yeah,
do you expect more from the 11 that you've been playing most of the time, or is it like I know that this was coming sort of thing from some of these players, like we can't get more out of them, like Almiron maybe taking a bit of a dive this season. So a lot of people are complaining that Longstaff and Burn probably are playing too much. So was you always expecting this? Was you always like, we still need to upgrade on these players, or was you just expecting more of the same consistency you're seeing last season?
I knew there was going to be some sort of a hit because, like the injuries do play a part in that. I expected some adaptation in tactics, or to bring an identity that is new. That if we don't have the certain amount of, and this is what Moyes does as well, you have a certain group of players with injuries, or during the summer you bring in players to try to bring something new, and then it just comes out. The way you play, it's awkward, and it doesn't bring it doesn't work. And it's because the manager is either overthinking it or not adapting to who he has available to him in the squad. So that's been the problem for both of us. The thing is, it's just crazy because you guys are still in Europa League. You've got a huge task in Bayer Leverkusen. I enjoy watching them play a lot, and I think you're underdogs for that. You have to play your cards really, really well against them. But you're still in Europa League. Top 7 in the Prem, or 8th, 9th, around that range, around our range, really. So, like, you're still in contention for that. It's just like me, like our squads, even with some injuries, we're about even, but it feels like we're worlds apart, even with your manager problems, because you're still in Europa League. You're still, you know what I'm saying? You still have Paqueta and Kudus, who are
Yeah.
game changers, and we don't have any game changers that are in form right now. That's the problem.
I need to ask this question. Yeah, is Callum Wilson fit?
No.
Thank fuck for that. Every time we come up against him,
He
you know what
scores.
happens. You know what
Yeah.
happens. It's ever since the Bournemouth days where he handballed it in the net.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for years. I'm just really, that's the best news all week. As long as
He's been injured for a while.
he came back, and that's where he came back for like a game or two and then just got injured again. Like,
Yeah, he's
we
out
did
with
that.
he's out with a pectoral something in the chest. He's out for the rest of the season, basically.
Oh Jesus!
He
Well, his Euros hope, his Euros hopes is gone. Then.
was never gonna get it anyways over Tony and Watkins, to be honest.
Yeah. I agree.
Or
With the
Kane. He was never gonna.
yeah.
Oh.
With the whole Bayer Leverkusen West Ham thing as well, it's like my only hope is they don't play against teams like us where we just defend for your life sort of thing, and you've got big shit houses. We're constantly just almost relying on moments. Like people, like who comes up against Antonio, a striker like Antonio in Europe? Like what? Like defenders have never come up against him, like sort of abroad, because he's just a very unique, weird style of striker.
He's
Barely even a
originally a
striker.
right back.
Yeah,
Originally a right back, yeah.
the guy's just he's just weird, and like that's my only hope, is that they play with the ball a lot and we just wait just to find any sort of opening or counter attack. But my problem is that we're not as fluid on the counter anymore. We don't even counter, to be honest. We don't even counter like that.
Yeah.
We sit back, we get the ball, and then we're like, what do we do now? Usually what happens, Kudus will get the ball. He's usually the guy that wins the ball, passes back to Sufal. Sufal right back's like, okay, I can't use my left foot because I don't know how to.
Yeah.
I can't pass on the ground. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to smash it out of play. And then the other team get the ball again. They get a throw in, and it's just constant. Then you might find an opening. You might find Jared Bowen running at a defender. The shot will get blocked or something like that, and then the other team gets the ball again. But really, we've got creatives like Paqueta, like Kudus, that can find openings if we actually had the ball. We've got 20% possession every game. Like it works at Arsenal away. On the odd chance that they miss their chances and we defend really well, I actually think we played really well in that game. But it's very like they dedicated so many bodies forward. Their centre backs were near our box, so you're obviously going to find openings, find space to counter, but it's not going to work at Everton at home. It's not going to work Bournemouth at home when you're playing Ward-Prowse on the left and Souček in the 10.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, with my manager, I just don't understand it. With the Lewis Hall thing, well, for your manager, it's what I feel about Maxwell Cornet. He's injured right now, but we signed him. He got injured, fair enough, but he's come back. Ben Rama and Fornals were underperforming for how long? You have someone with technical ability, pace, someone who does track back, who does want to do the dirty work, but he can also strike a ball really well, a threat on goal. Scored against Sheffield United, got benched against Bournemouth. Him and Danny Ings both played really well. Both got benched for Souček in the 10, Ward-Prowse on the left, and Bowen up front. So if Bowen's up front and Mohamed Kudus is playing on the right, the whole left side might as well not have the ball. What's the point of Ward-Prowse having the ball on the left? What's he going to do with it? He's a midfielder. Now he's getting a lot of hate now, but he's a number 8. He's not a number 10. He's not a number 6. He's not a left winger. That was my problem when we signed him. Was I think he's a good player.
Yeah,
but he loves Souček. He loves Souček. So I'm thinking, are you even going to play Alvarez? But he has played Alvarez. He's played all 3 of them, and he's put Paqueta on the left. He's played really well. Don't get me wrong, but if he played in the middle, he'd be guaranteed in the team of the season this season. Like that's how good he is.
Oh, he's sublime, bro. I love watching him at Lyon. Lyon. When he was at AC Milan, he was also misutilized. He was playing on the wing, and it was like it didn't work. There was talent there, but you know he never got to see it consistently. Paqueta at AC Milan, but meanwhile at Lyon, even when they weren't doing that great, they still had Bruno G, Kakare, and Paqueta. 6, 8, 10. Easy. Easy. And
Yeah,
Paqueta was one of the better players in Liga when he was at Lyon.
he played against us as well. He played against us when we faced in the Europa League, and he was injured for slightly injured for the second leg, so he came on at half time. And I was like, yeah, this guy's a good player. And Emerson was also playing in that game. Malo Gusto was playing in that game. Ndombele was playing in that game, and Moussa Dembele up front. So it's a bit of a weird team.
Yeah.
But when we signed him, I was like, yeah, I can't believe we signed him, because I thought he was actually going to go to you guys because of the whole Gimaresh thing, because they're mates and all that. Yeah. And when he joins us, he gets instant hate because it takes him a bit of time to settle in. And he's giving the ball away. He's trying to have fun. You're trying to have fun in the David Moyes team. Fun's not allowed in the David Moyes team. You're not allowed to express yourself. Yeah. Now Moyes is encouraging the showboating, but he doesn't know how to coach these players. Who gives David Moyes someone like Paquetá and Goodness? Like, he's like, I'm going to change the style of football. I'm going to be more attacking this year. Okay, I want to see that, Moyes. But last season we reverted straight back, and it's like we didn't even try. It's like we didn't even actually try to do that. We had Scamacca. And people can say what they want about Gianluca Scamacca, but
never got utilized correctly.
Never got any service. Look at any striker that isn't Mikel Antonio. They don't fit into a David Moyes side, because Antonio's a particular striker, and Moyes' system is so used to an Antonio shithouse that's channel running. Scamacca's not going to do that. Like, Antonio even said that himself. He's not going to do that.
Scamacca wants to get involved in the build-up play. Drift left, drift right. Yeah. Get involved.
Yeah, exactly.
He was on an island, bro. He was on an island, Scamacca.
Yeah. And I think Moyes will go in the summer, because a lot of these players that he likes as well seem to be leaving. Like, I'm seeing some reports today that Vladimir Sufo is unhappy with what he's getting paid, because he is getting paid peanuts. But in my opinion, don't give him a new contract. This guy's like 30. Yeah. Like, 7 assists this season doesn't tell the full story of how he's played this season for me. Like, he's given you some good games, given me some bad games. But he's good in space. If you press this guy, doesn't know what to do, just pass the centre back, or the ball's got out the pitch. And a lot of the players that he likes are probably going to leave. Ben Johnson's apparently leaving to Crystal Palace in the summer on a free. I don't really rate him either, to be honest. Like, he's had a good purple patch when he came on. Did deserve to get dropped as well. But Vladimir Sufo is one of Moyes' favourites. So that seems to be managers' weakness in football in general, like favourites. But you see that with Ten Hag and Man United. You see that with even Pochettino at Chelsea, maybe with Gallagher and stuff. Like, it happens with certain managers and certain players. And someone like Souček, he scored a lot of goals, but goals don't tell you the full story of a person's game in 90 minutes. Souček comes alive in the 90th minute. He comes alive, and we need a goal. So bring him on off the bench then. Like, he can put a tackle in, and he can score a goal. But the ultimate thing of a midfielder, control the ball and pass. You can't do that. You can't pass 5 yards. Like the midfield battle you're going to see on Saturday is going to be horrendous. It's going to be an occasional brilliant moment from like a Gimaresh, and I would say Paquetá, but he's going to be on the left maybe, or he'll play in a 10 behind Antonio, because we're playing Kudus on the left now. So we might have Kudus on the left, but that's still not getting the best out of your players. Like, if
Kudus should be on the right.
If an attacking manager was here, he'd probably play like Paquetá and Kudus in the midfield 3. He'd be that attacking. Play Alvarez just behind them, Bowen on the right, someone off the left, and their own striker. But Moyes just wants to play the whole team lopsided, so it hinders everything to do with our build-up play. I don't see the point of passing short to your centre back, and then your centre back doing a long ball anyway. You might as well just go direct from the goal kick. Like, there's no point. We're not bringing them in. We're not bringing anyone in to like get their line higher so we can find some space. You might as well just go direct. Just go direct to Antonio, because we're not trying to play through the lines anyway. Because otherwise Souček wouldn't be playing. Why is Souček playing if we're trying to play possession? Like, even we at one point we had Declan Rice and Paquetá in the midfield last season, and we was battling relegation. Like, that tells you all you need to know about this manager. That tells you all you need to know about this manager. And don't get me wrong, Europe, I don't have any expectations in Europe. I don't. Even though we won the trophy last season, this Europa League was going to be tough. I didn't know what to think. But what I do expect is that because we moved to this stadium and we finally raised the standards in terms of challenging for Europe every season, you got to keep the standards up. You got to keep challenging for Europe. That's why we moved. If we was going to be shit every season, I would have happily just stayed at Upton Park. Now, funny enough, London Stadium is actually closer to where I live, so I don't mind traveling there. But until you get in the and then you get in the stadium, you can't create an atmosphere. I'm just
That
here to
atmosphere.
hopefully see my team. It honestly is the worst. Like, because people will look at it and think, well, the West Ham, you got shit fans. What are you doing? But if you hear our fans away from home and if you hear our fans at Upton Park, we're fucking loud as fuck. We're loud as fuck. But that's the frustration. I think we feel like we're both in a similar situations when it comes to frustrations with our managers. And where is Joe Willock, by the way? Did he get injured again? He come back and get injured again? Because I haven't seen him.
So yeah, he was playing with us consistently. It don't say anything on the thing I've got that he's injured or anything. But yeah, Willock's been playing. He played against City in the cup game. That was a training session for them.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, he's been playing recently. So Willock will be in the 11. Willock will in the 11.
I was gonna say because like last season, one of my favorite midfielders to watch last season for me. Like it was so good for me. Like him and Joe Linton kind of interchanging down that left a little bit, and like that assist against Tottenham with the outside of the foot was amazing. That was one of the best assists of the season by far, probably the best by far.
Yeah,
I had him in my team of the season. I was like he deserves it. But you guys have had so many injuries in midfield. Like who's even going to play? I've heard Lewis Miley's injured today.
Yeah, Miley's injured. Yeah, he got injured with the U21. So midfield three it has to be Bruno G, Longstaff, Willock.
What do you think of Sean Longstaff?
He's rubbish. Like he's as good as he'll get. Like we need to move on in the summer. It's not fun anymore. It's not a gimmick. It's like he can play alongside a Joelinton and a Bruno, but if you don't have that strength, that industry. The game just passes by Longstaff far too often. He's just he runs around. He does what McTominay does. He runs around and looks busy, shadow pressing. You know, he'll shadow press. It'll look like he'll be doing something, but it's not leading to anything. It's not contributing to the game. It's like a guy just running around.
Yeah,
running around. He's not like it's not like when Longstaff pressing. Oh God, I need to get rid of the ball. It's like, okay, just pass the ball normally. He's not in impacting games, bro. Just not in impacting games. So yeah, it's just not. We need to move on in the summer. And apparently he's been playing with an injury too. So it's like,
oh really?
Yeah. Eddie Howe said in a press conference, 3 weeks ago, because he was defending him after we were fucking terrible against. Who did we have? We played against. It was after the Arsenal game, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Like, Longstaff's been nursing an injury, and it's like, why are we playing him then?
Yeah, that's been a trend for you. Like, what's going on with that then? Because like all of your players that come back from injury, they get injured straight away. Isak, Murphy, like even like you got so many injuries. Like even like people like Botman. Like you were talking to me. I think it was off camera.
Botman's done for the year. He's done till October.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
He's having surgery on his knee, bro. He might not be the same player ever again. It's fucking knee surgery.
Back to back, like long-term injuries.
It can heal up to a point, but it doesn't. It's there's no guarantees, bro. He might not be the same player again. That's because he's playing with the fucking injury ever since he came back. So he might, Eddie and the medical team or whoever might have screwed the fucking pooch on that one. So. Yeah, it's just like that kind of stuff that's irritating, really, and just like, yeah, that's why I want to upgrade on the manager personally.
Do you have anyone in mind that you'd like at your club?
Yeah, Jose Mourinho, easy.
It seems perfect, doesn't it?
Easy. Yeah.
Imagine it. If he came back to the Premier League in front of that stadium, in front of your fans, that would give a huge lift.
Yeah,
especially if he's back as well.
He has a connection with Newcastle, bro. He's Sir Bobby Robson's assistant for many years in the 90s at Barcelona and at Newcastle. He's talked about how he would, is fond of Newcastle. He has a connection there. Like, I think that will happen in the summer. And some of our fan base will freak out because they're all fucking pretty football freaks. They need, but it's like the guy wins. The guy wins everywhere except Tottenham Hotspur. He got sacked 6 days before a final.
Yeah, that's the
Not
ideal
saying he
league.
would have won that, but you had a
Mm.
fucking hell of a better chance than Ryan Mason as an intern for that
He's
game.
got a good record against Pep as well. Like,
Yeah,
he seems to get one over Pep quite a bit.
yeah, and he wins trophies. I don't care if next season we finish 10th and we win an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. You need to get over the line. It's been 70 years since Newcastle won anything domestically. I'm talking 1955 when we won the FA Cup against Man City, I believe. So we need to get that over the line. Like, we all laugh at Tottenham for not winning anything.
Mm.
Well, we're even worse by many, many, many decades.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean, it's crazy the amount of teams in England that have won things since we last won something. So that's why I would bring in a Mourinho. If we had a Jose Mourinho in that AC Milan game on match day 6, you give him a 1-0 lead at halftime, we have a far better chance of winning that game and getting over the line if you have Jose in the dugout compared to Eddie Howe. You do.
yeah.
Maybe not
I
be
agree.
pretty, but winning is winning. I don't care if it's pretty or not pretty. I need results. Man. That's what I want. And beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be choosers when it comes to the trophy thing. They're at a premium. And if you have a guy that you can bring in, and he has a incredible record with all the teams he's managed throughout an illustrious 25 odd year career. You do that every day of the week for me. Some other managers I'd like, I would take a Maurizio Sarri because he's now out of work. Left my my Italian club Lazio, who I really like. I like Maurizio Sarri a lot. It wouldn't be that much of a change because they both play 4-3-3. Heavy emphasis on the wings. Fullbacks are very important. Playing with a higher line, possession based. Like, that could work for me. That Maurizio Sarri, I would take him absolutely. I'd love someone like Ernesto Valverde doing incredibly well at Athletic Club Bilbao in Spain in a cup final. I think they'll get Champions League football this season for the first time in, I think, 25 years. I don't even think they've qualified for Champions League since 92 when it was European Cup to the champs. So that's a manager I'd be very, very interested in. Spanish managers having a lot of success recently in as well. Bring over technical players. So I would love Ernesto Valverde. Very good style of football. He's worked with Messi. He's worked with Neymar. Like, he's still a top quality manager. He's know how to handle big personalities, and Athletic Club is a huge club, crazy fan base. So he's coped with that. Like, for me, that would be someone I'd like. I'd like Frank Hayes at RC Lens because if you've noticed, Xabi Alonso, they're playing with 3 at the back. Simone Inzaghi, he's playing 3 at the back. Frank Hayes at Lens playing 3 at the back. Those 3 teams haven't been very relevant. I mean, Inter had a whole banter era for about 8 or 9 years where they didn't even make Champions League. They were losing in the Europa League to Southampton and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Leverkusen haven't won anything since 92 when they won their only Pokal. And Lens were in Ligue 2 4 years ago. And all 3 of those managers have come in, implemented a great style of play, heavy emphasis on the fullbacks, 3 center backs, good on the ball, neat, good in the air, can go back and forth. Those are some managers I'd like to see personally, because I think the 3 at the back is the way forward in terms of football. I think you'll see a lot. In 5 years, it'll be what the 4-2-3-1 is.
Yeah, Ruben Amorim as well.
Amorim, yes. Thank you. Yeah, Amorim as well. So, yeah, for me, 3 at the back with those wing backs, because everybody loves fullbacks that go up and down. Well, with the wing backs, you can push them even higher up the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
So, for me, those are some managers I'd like to see at Newcastle.
Do you reckon he'll go then? Do you reckon the board will let it go in the summer?
51-49, because they'll have some sympathy for him, and I get it. I understand it with the whole injury situation and Tonali and all that stuff. At the same time, they'll be like, Jose Mourinho is he's a free agent right now.
Yeah.
And we're going into a season where I don't think we'll be finishing in a European spot. And if we do, it'll be at best the Conference League. If you plug in a Mourinho there, You instantly bring the profile of the club higher, instantly get more TV interest around the world because it's Mourinho, eyeballs. You attract a certain kind of player that an Eddie Howe necessarily couldn't. It's an upgrade. Maybe not in the football they play, but at the same time, Jose's played good football in his career.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
If you give him the players. At Roma, they didn't have the players. What De Rossi's doing right now with Roma is crazy because I didn't rate that squad as a footballing side. I thought Jose was doing the best that he could. But De Rossi might fade out. So you never know. It might just go back to the results that they were getting earlier. But for me, Mourinho did the best he could there. Won European silverware there. Lost tooth and nail against Sevilla last season in that Europa League final. His only loss in a cup final in his career. So, like, I look at that and I'm like, okay, you could do that in the Conference League for us. I could believe that we could be a contender for that. So for me, and also in the league, you could you know, if you have a Mourinho there, he's been in this league before. He knows what he's doing. You know, he's taken teams, you know, has won titles and he's consistently finished top 4 and stuff like that. FA Cups, he's won that. So for me, it would just be that's what I would do. That's what
Do you feel like you might not even have like that much of a massive transfer window? So maybe do you need a manager that's going to get the best out of what you have, and maybe a whole new refresh, new instructions, a new voice, might just have to get the best out of what you have. Maybe like two players. You might get a few out the door, maybe get 2 or 3 players in. Maybe is it better to get a different manager just to get the best out of what you have for now, and then try and stabilize you a bit to like try and get you back into Europe?
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. Yeah, I think we just need a bit of a refresh. I just think it's gone stale, bro. And I think
Yeah.
you know, I've been saying for the longest that fucking game on Boxing Day when we lost to Forest 3-1. I'm like, this team is
That's horrible.
dead. It died, bro. That team fucking died. That team doesn't know what it's doing. Like that's not a group of players that, like, I'm sure. I don't think they dislike Eddie Howe or anything, but I don't think they're buying in really anymore. And I don't know if Eddie Howe's given them something to buy into. I think everyone's just struggling, and I think a change should be made personally. Do I understand if we keep him? Yes. But I would make the change.
I think from an outside point of view, I think because the players played well so last season, he's probably trusted them too much. But I feel like the players are now, some of the players that are not good enough have just run out of steam for me. Like, just from the outside looking in, like, as much as I rated Eddie Howe as a coach, because from what he's done at Bournemouth compared to what he's done at Newcastle, like with Bournemouth, he was very all out attack before even like Bielsa was here. When he was all out attack, he was the all out attack manager that was trying to keep them up, trying to go for it every game. He went to see like Simeone's training sessions and all that, trying to improve how to coach a defense, etc. Come to Newcastle, he's improved like tactically. He's got a plan B now, but with the players he has, maybe he trusts the players too much that he already has and doesn't feel like he needs to upgrade as much as he probably should.
Too loyal to certain players. Too loyal to Dan Burn, Longstaff, Almiron. Jacob Murphy, I think, could still be a decent squad player, but you could throw in a Murphy there. You could throw in a Callum Wilson. You could throw in maybe even a Trippier, because it's like certain times of the season, it's like the guy is not playing that well. So you know, it's just stuff like that, bro.
Trippier's probably played too many games. Probably played too many
games.
Yeah.
I mean, he's injured tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's probably a boost for us as well. I know he hasn't been playing the best, but then again, Kudus against it's going to be Kudus against Livramento then, I assume. Then
Livramento's injured.
Wait, who's going to play right back then?
Emil Kraft.
Emil Kraft is going to play right back. Oh my God, is this the Steve
Bruce here on Google, he's injured. Yeah. And I heard about it something that like yesterday or something. I was like, oh, wonderful. So yeah, Lewis Miley's out, Joelinton's out, Nick Pope's out, Barnes, Wilson, Livramento, Botman, Trippier.
How do you feel like the game will go then? Like what's your feelings towards the game specifically? Like, you're much confident into like getting a win. Like, your home record isn't terrible, but it isn't as good as last season. We haven't lost there in a few years at your ground. We do usually lose to you guys in general. And at the 2-2 game, I hated our performance in that game because we started well
I was
and we
happy with
dropped off
the
again.
draw at the time. Yeah, I was
You
like,
guys were on your feet. You guys just played PSG at the time. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure it was that week. I know we played Europa League, but we didn't have that. I'm pretty sure we had a bit of a change lineup. So I'm like, they're on their feet, go for the jugular.
yeah.
And in that first half,
It
I
was an
thought,
Isak
can I get a
brace, I
second goal?
believe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was. I could have scored at the end.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I think even our fans were happy with the draw in the end because of the way the game went. But
Yeah.
I was like, we're at home. We shouldn't have been one. We shouldn't have lost a 1-0 lead in the first place. It's just
Mhm.
typical West Ham. You go 1-0 up. Either the players make a mistake and Moyes doesn't know how to. Okay, now we need to go for it, guys. Or
Yeah.
we go 1-0 up and we just sit back. It happened against Forest. We had to go toe to toe with Nottingham Forest when they had Steve Cooper. We beat them 3-2. We had to go toe to toe with Crystal. Well, not even toe to toe with Crystal Palace. We went 1-0 up, and then we sat back. They
Yeah.
had Roy Hodgson. They were playing like 5-3-2 or whatever. They were Joaquim Anderson was on free kicks. They were on
Yeah.
their feet, and they were playing for the draw. They got their goal because Mavropanos made a bozo mistake. But then
Mhm.
Moyes didn't have a game plan. His game plan was, okay, Ward-Prowse, can you go on the left? Paquetá go in the middle, and yeah, just whip some balls in. That's not going to go anywhere. So 5'9" Jared Bowen, and we don't win any aerial duels anyway. Like
Mm.
it's just a bit of the same. It's a bit of the same from either club. But people don't understand that when you don't watch the team week in, week out. Everyone's like, just, oh, look what he's done for the club. Please watch football with your eyes. Please just watch football with your eyes.
Yeah.
If you watch your football week in, week out, you would understand why we're so frustrated. That's why
Yeah.
I'm always talking with like fans of other clubs that I'm like, you've literally watched your team batter us and you're telling me to keep Moyes. Like, please. I said after the trophy, go on a high. I'm begging you, go on a high.
Yeah.
And just be like, look, I'm a legend now. I've done all I can. Goodbye. But he wants to
Yeah.
stay. I get it. He wants to stay. But the board, if you didn't look at
There's a lot of
anything to do with the
indecision with the
position,
contract, right?
yeah. So pretty much, just David Sullivan likes to talk in the media. Well,
Yes.
he's got his best friends. I'm pretty sure with Simon Jordan. So the Talksport prop is up here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Anything to do with Talksport, they're going to praise David Moyes. Colton Cole works for Talksport. I love Colton Cole, but he works for Talksport. He's not going to talk down on them. But anyone, and even Simon Jordan and Jim White have been chatting shit about West Ham fans for years.
Yeah.
So the prop is going to be like this. So whenever we're on a game on a winning streak, like in that December run when we beat Man United, we beat Wolves, we beat Arsenal, we beat Tottenham, 2 of them away from home. Then there was talks about, oh, Moyes is going to get a 2-year contract. But a few months before that, it was Moyes isn't going to get a new contract. There's going to be Tim Steiner that's going to choose his man. And I trust him because he literally worked with Xabi Alonso last year.
Yeah.
Like, so I would trust him. And now it's back to, because we only won 2 league games in this calendar year. People seem to forget that we've only beat Brentford and Everton. We literally should have beat Burnley. We should have beat Villa. Should have beat Sheffield United. We should have had way more points. We're happy with a 0-0 at home against Brighton. Now it's okay. He's not going to get a contract.
That was such a bad game to watch, bro.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I was there. I'm there every home game.
Yeah.
I'm there every home game, high up in the pitch, high up in the corner. And when you're higher up in the stadium, you can see it tactically. You can see it what's going to happen next. And I'm like, okay, 10 men behind the ball, 10 men behind the ball.
Right,
sometimes 11 men
finish their chances, bro.
Yeah, the fact that we haven't lost to Brighton this year is a fucking miracle. Anyway, because we always lose to Brighton. Yeah. But I get we had injuries. I get this context, but you also, for more context, you had a transfer window to deal with that. It's not like we're suffering with FFP, but we're not like Newcastle suffering with FFP. We're not like Everton suffering with FFP. Even Forest, they'll probably still try and buy players, not them Forest, knowing their owner. But we're not suffering like that. You had a chance to get the Ibrahim Osman guy who's now going to Brighton, from the Ghanaian guy from Denmark that's playing for, I forgot what the club's called. I think it might be Midtjylland. Yeah, I think it's Midtjylland. Yeah. Came from the same academy as Kudus as well.
The Aspire Academy. Yes.
Yeah. And we had a chance to get Jota on loan, obviously the one from Saudi, the one that played for Celtic. You could have got any of them as a left wing option, but instead you decide to loan out Ben Rama, which fair enough. I wouldn't mind Ben Rama and Fornals leaving if you got in a replacement, or you played Maxwell Cornet. We decided to do neither. This reminds me of 2 years ago when we was in the Europa League and we still had one striker. It was just Antonio. Just Antonio. And that was literally 12 months after we sold Sebastian Haller. We had a chance to we had a chance to try and bid for Tammy Abraham. He didn't want to come, fair enough. We had a chance to bid for so many other strikers. He turned down Julian Alvarez. He turned down Julian Alvarez because he said Antonio was on form. Who does that? Then don't play him then. You sign him and then you bring him in if he's not playing on form. He went on Diary of a CEO podcast and said that. He went on a podcast to say, I turned down Julian Alvarez. Do you think that is a brag? You know what is a brag? Buying him. Buying him is a brag. Pepper's got him now. Pepper's playing him in midfield. Julian Alvarez wouldn't have fit anyway, by the way. It would have been seen as a flop because he wouldn't have scored in like 5 games. But really, he would have got no service. He would have been trying to pin
right out of position
back to goal.
Yeah,
he would have been treated like Antonio, but like Julian Alvarez. Can you pin a big 6'4" defender back to goal, spin him just like Antonio, and try and drive us on the counter, please? Julian Alvarez would be like, what? Like what? I'm not Antonio. Like none of these strikers are like Antonio. It's exactly like 2 years ago where we lost to Frankfurt and our players were dead on the floor. We had to play with 10 men because of that bozo Cresswell. 10 men, tired. Fornals is playing wing back / winger / attacking midfield. He's playing in 3 positions. Declan Rice is trying to punch up the ref. Like Moyes is kicking the ball like the ball boy. Like it all went to shit because we didn't invest in the window. We had 1 left back, 1 striker, barely any wingers with pace. But the difference is then we was a counter-attacking team. We was good with what we got. He likes to keep a small squad and he likes to play his favourites. But then when you give him the money, he brought in Tilo Kehrer. Fair enough, he wasn't good enough, but whatever. You brought in Naya Faged. Don't get me started on him. This guy, he's dog shit in the Premier League.
You don't fit the way you play. That's the thing. So he looks off.
Even just defensively, though, he doesn't defend. Like this guy's been done by Luton striker Solanke. He's been done by everyone, and he's partly at fault for the game against Newcastle at home for me with some of the goals. Conceded a penalty against Liverpool, red card against Chelsea. This guy's just a bozo. Zuma's fallen off. I like Zuma, but too many knee injuries. Too many knee injuries. His last injury killed him, and now he just looks slow as shit.
Yeah,
the guy's still in Freiburg. He's still in Freiburg, trying to not concede that goal that we conceded at Freiburg. He's still there. He's stuck in the mud. He's stuck in the mud. But that's what we've done again. We've pretty much made the same mistake like we made 2 years ago, and I feel like with like a manager that you don't have to play constant attacking football, but with the players you have at your current disposal, you have to be a little bit more front-footed than you already are.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah. Just play to your strengths of your players. I don't care about what type of football we play. Just get the best out of the players that you have. But we're not doing that, and that's what people don't get. And that's why I'd like a new manager to I don't know who's realistic anymore. The thing is, I said either Arne Slot or Amorim. Amorim's probably a contender for Liverpool now, so he's not realistic anymore. But now I don't. Arne Slot is the only one I can really think of that I've actually.
You take Marco Silva.
That's the thing. Like I said, I'll take Marco Silva last year.
I would take him at Newcastle. I would. I like Marco Silva.
I know both our teams are not far away from Fulham, but he deserves to step up. Like it's still a step up in my opinion, going to West Ham or Newcastle. So I think I would take him. I don't think I think we'd have to buy out a lot to get him out of his contract. Because he just signed a new deal, I think. But
he's rumored to go to Saudi in the summer. And I like Marco Silva a lot.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind a manager that, like, not how we did it with Pellegrini, a man who was at China and then came back. I mean, like, a manager that's, like, in Europe, he's doing well. Just get them in. Like, just trust Tim Steidten. If he can pick out Alonso in that one season he had at Leverkusen as a technical director, then he can do then he should be able to do what he wants at West Ham.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be able to, like, he should be able to have the ability to pick out gems that are not too expensive in the transfer window when it comes to players as well. Just pick up gems. Brighton have been doing it for years. Just pick out small gems, people that are cheap if you're not going to be able to spend that much. But I think Moyes is gone. And I wouldn't hold anything against him. I'd be like, okay, thank you finally for leaving. You're a legend at this club. But it was just gone way too stale. You stayed way too beyond your welcome. Exactly. And at West Ham, it could get toxic instantly, because our fan base disagrees a lot with each other. We just seem to disagree a lot. But if we don't like what we're seeing, we're going to boo you. There's nothing wrong with booing your players, in my opinion. It's accountability.
not at all.
It's accountability. Like people were complaining about Chelsea fans booing Sterling. No, this guy's been 300k a week.
Terrible.
The free kick went into Craven Cottage.
Yeah.
They're allowed to boo him.
Yeah.
Like, you're allowed to boo your players. You're allowed to boo your team.
It's not like he's been sensational this whole season, and at the first hurdle you're booing him. No, he's been poor the whole season. GNA don't cover up for that.
Exactly, and I feel like we're definitely going to change because he's run out of contracts as well. Like his contract runs out in the summer.
He would have, bro. If he was going to stay, they would have extended the contract already.
Yeah, and I feel like, for example, imagine that announcement happening. Moyes has signed a new contract. The upheaval that would happen, even though it's divided, even though there would be a lot of people that would be like, okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
There would be a lot of people that would kick off and a lot of people that would come at the board again. I've heard the David Sullivan's son, Jack Sullivan, go on a YouTuber's podcast and be like, we like the Brighton model. We think Brighton are the best run team in the world. We're trying to aspire to be like them. Okay, if you're trying to aspire to be like them and pick out gems, then you wouldn't keep David Moyes. You wouldn't keep David Moyes. That means Moyes is going. If David Sullivan has really stepped away from the footballing decisions and it's Tim Steinden's decision to make a thing with the whole manager, then David Moyes is going. It all aligns for me. And Moyes said in his press conference, oh, yeah, contract's on the table. The insider, ex-West Ham employee, who's the most reliable source.
Yeah, on Twitter, that guy. Yeah.
He literally said the contract's not on the table.
Yeah.
So Moyes is just lying to the press. He's just lying. He's just lying. He's just trying to save face. He's just lying. Yeah, literally lying. There's going to be a lot of manager merry-go-rounds in the summer with many clubs.
Yeah.
But this might be the first year, depending on who we appoint, that I can take my club serious in terms of, well, okay, we actually might be able to move constantly in the right direction. I want to constantly now be competing for Europe. Now, people have said to people like Alan Shearer, ironically, have been like, what do you expect? You're West Ham, can't wish for any more. Well, Newcastle finished fourth. Aston Villa are competing for top four. We was competing for top four for 2 years.
Brighton in Europa League, they were.
Exactly. But we can't wish for more. Even before our trophy, it's a 40-year trophy drought. Before our previous trophy, other teams have suffered more than us. And they're reaching higher. Like the Premier League is not the Premier League anymore. You got Chelsea and Man United.
It's not overrated. I've said this for years. I watch a ton of football, not just the Premier League, and I'm like, what really separates this league from the others? I don't see it.
I enjoy Serie A.
Minimal. Like I watch Liga. That's my favorite league to watch. You know, I run watch-alongs on my channel all the time for it because I enjoy watching it the most. I enjoy watching it more than the Prem. I like watching the Eredivisie where they're just attack crazy. Bundesliga, the same thing. Like, and there are quality players and managers and teams. But the Premier League's got brainwashing, bro. They got marketing on fucking lock. It's the best marketed sports league in the world. And it's got money, and it's got eyeballs and all that. But it's like, bro, like this league is not as strong as some people think it is. A West Ham can aspire to win an FA Cup and to do well in Europa League and maybe even get a Champions League berth and see what happens. And a Brighton, you know, Newcastle, like because the Man Uniteds, those motherfuckers are apparently going to appoint Southgate.
Bring it on.
I know, right? He is apparently the shocking thing about that is that like the bookies are like really that he's like a firm favorite, Southgate, in the bookies' eyes to get the Man United job. I think it's 4-1 on, and everybody else is like 1-8, and it's like and the bookies don't get things wrong, really. They rarely get things wrong. So it's like that they aren't serious. Chelsea are trying to figure things out. They have a crappy manager who, again, just like, you know, Eddie Howe and stuff is not recuperate. You know, the players are coming back way too soon and getting injured. Lavia's been gone the whole damn season. He's played 10 minutes of football. Like Chukwemeka, Ugochukwu, a bunch of other guys, Nkuku. Like clearly, and he's not good. He's not a good manager. So they're not serious right now. It's Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool, and everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah, literally fourth place is there.
Else is up for grabs.
If we actually had some backup, we'd be around where Villa are for me. We had
Yeah.
some little bit of backup, we'd be around where Villa are. We've got great
Yeah.
starters. We've got a good 11. We've got a good 11 forward from the back four, I'd say. Other than
Yeah.
that, it's bad. Like you can't be a defensive manager and you've got a bad defense.
Yeah.
You've got a bad defense. It's a bad defense. Emerson's the only one that's holding it up for me. All these centre backs.
Yeah.
I love Ogbonna. Ogbonna's been great for us, but he's old
Past
now. Yeah, he's way past it. Been a great player over the years. Great servant. Zuma, too injury prone. When he used to play a couple of seasons ago and even last season, he's been good.
Yeah.
But he runs in quicksand now. It's a shame. Mavropanos, I'm yet to really see some consistency.
He's inconsistent, man.
Yeah. He'll
he's either a god, he's a Herculean god, or he's I could just shove him over and it's like there's no fighting the guy.
For me, he's what I think some people think Aged is, where I think you could get the best out of him under a different manager with a ball because he likes to play on the ball a lot. Takes too long on the ball.
Yeah, Aged on a high line is perfect. He's not a player. Naif Aged was at Stade Rennes when they would get countered on. He actually did a good job of sniffing things out and reading well. But he's not the kind of defender Aged is, where it's like, oh, he's the center back you want when you're playing defensive football. He's not a backs to the wall center back. He's more of the pretty on the eye and good at nice and intricate in the defending, not like nasty, mean, like low block. No, you're not scored on my fucking goal. He's not one of those guys.
Nah, like, don't get me wrong. I liked watching him in Morocco in the World Cup and stuff. And
the way Morocco playing, you guys are completely different. Energy, intensity, everybody's active. Like the roles are very defined. It's all a nice working unit. And with you guys, it's like, I don't know.
Like maybe as much as maybe we should give him a chance under a different manager. I don't trust him enough for me to even give him that chance, because there's too many mistakes. Like he's getting spun by everyone. Like everyone is getting at him. Everyone is taking their turn. Like Solanke spun him the first game of the season. I was very worried. Then the second game of the season, he concedes he made a red card against Jackson. Jackson had his way with again. We actually played badly with 11 men against Chelsea, but when we played with 10 men, we was actually better than Chelsea. But again, and Zuma was struggling with Jackson. They were struggling. And I just think too many strikers are getting at. Like Mavropanos is a good defender, but you're meant to be a ball-playing centre-back. Stop taking so long on the ball. Like I reckon under a different manager, maybe under more instructions, he'll get more confidence.
Maybe in a back three.
Yeah, maybe.
Where he was at Stuttgart when he was looking really good. Yeah.
And our midfielders don't come and receive the ball because that's not the instruction. Enson Alvarez wants to, but that's not the instruction. As soon as
Alvarez has to be everywhere at all times, tackling people and being bro. Him at Ajax, I was like, good player, but this season, like, damn, I was not. And I'm American. I watch the Mexican national team. Sometimes he's hit or miss, but like for you guys, I feel like he's been pretty damn consistent.
He's got that
another level to his game that I was like, all right.
He's aggressive. He's good on the ball. But the thing is, for me, is that we rely too much on him now because he's our only six.
Definitely.
He's our only six. Like Calvin Phillips. Oh my God.
Forget about it.
Forget about it, man.
One tournament wonder. I've been saying it for years, bro. I've been saying tournament wonder.
He's a one manager wonder as well. Under Bielsa?
Yeah, Bielsa.
Whatever, You see Calvin Phillips since Bielsa. Remember that Leeds team? All those players were being talked about. Where are they now? Without Bielsa, where are they now?
Besides Rafinha, who's kind of struggling at Barca. He's hit or miss.
Bamford was getting talked about. He's still at Leeds. Harrison was getting talked about. He's at Everton, inconsistent.
Average.
Luke Ayling's at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Liam Cooper is still there. Like these players were championship players living on a high. That's why he was so good. Calvin Phillips was a number 10 before Bielsa was there. Calvin Phillips was a number 10. It was on the Leeds documentary. I watched it on Amazon. He then transferred it into a number 6. And then he played really well, high pressing, all of that stuff, And he didn't get a chance under Man City. But he was probably not good enough in training. He probably wasn't. No. Like Pep wants something. If Pep thinks you're not good enough, you're probably not good enough. I know there were certain players in the past for Pep that were good enough. They was just played out of position. But Calvin Phillips is not one of them. Calvin Phillips was just not good enough. I didn't want him. It used to annoy me on YouTube where I was like, Rice is going. So what West Ham should do is try and get Calvin Phillips in the swap deal. And everyone on YouTube came up with that like it was something original that they came up with. I was like, please, if we trade Rice for Calvin Phillips, it's one of the biggest downgrades I've seen at West Ham since Dimitri Payet left and Robert Snodgrass came in.
Dimitri fucking Payet, yo.
Oh my god. Like legit, that was the Banter era of West Ham. Yeah, well, in my lifetime, there's been worse when I've not been here.
At least you got to watch him play. Fucking
yeah. I was at Upton Park week in week out when he was there. I watched that
free kick versus Palace, where it was.
I was behind that goal right up top. I was behind the goal in the upper stand, like right above the away fans. That's the best goal. That's one of the best goals I've seen live. That goal against Middlesbrough, where he runs past everyone. It's not that's another best goal I've seen live. The free kick against Man United at Old Trafford in the FA Cup, where we should have won that game. We got robbed that game. But
I loved watching him play, bro. I absolutely love watching him play. That 15-16 season, he was just fucking incredible, honestly.
Like that was a different.
Wait, so is it him or Paqueta?
Payet. Payet's better. Payet's a better player. Paqueta, obviously, I'd like him more because he's here. But Payet's a better player. Payet doesn't lose the ball as much. Paqueta still loses the ball. Paqueta, for example, if he goes to Man City, Pep likes instructions. I don't know how he's going to keep Paqueta like just to stay, calm. Because Paqueta wants to do his own thing. He just wants to do his own thing. He doesn't want instruction. He's like,
and to be fair, when he does his own thing and it's a certain day, it works really, 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 really well. He's a game changer,
Payet's definitely by far the best player I've seen at West Ham. I haven't seen much. Like that London Stadium era, when we first went into the London Stadium, we had a lot of shit.
You lost to FCSB, or no, Austria Giurgiu. Yeah.
Yep.
Was that the first game in your new stadium?
First competitive game, I think.
First competitive game at your stadium, you lost to a Romanian team that don't exist.
Yeah, we lost to them the year before as well. Yes. We lost them 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But that's the thing with like our players here. Like we were talking about Alvarez. Alvarez is suspended.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So what? Your midfield's going to be Ward-Prowse and Souček.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is what I don't know now, because our front four is going to be Bowen, Antonio, Kudus, and Paquetá. He'll either play a Ward-Prowse Souček midfield, which is going to get run through, or he's going to play a Calvin Phillips Souček midfield. Oh my god! Like, do I even bother watching if that happens? Do I even bother clicking on my TV to watch that? Like,
you know what it is? It's either going to be an end-to-end game, or it's either going to be a terrible one. My reason why I'm worried is you just have more firepower. You have Kudus, Paquetá, and Jared Bowen, one of my favorite players right now. Jared Bowen Arrow. This guy is he's a sniper, bro. Like,
I love him.
That guy is textbook definition of a modern day right winger, right forward. Could play anywhere on the front and do a good job. Strongest on the right. Efficient, simple touches of the football. A good passer. And he's just got devastating shot. Shows up in big moments. Like that's what I'm terrified of, because it's like him against Dan Burn. He's just too tricky, and he's too he makes great runs. I rate the guy so highly. He's consistent. How many goals does he have this year in all comps?
13 or 14 or all comps? I don't know. But all comps maybe like.
He's got 14 in the Prem. He has
like one Europa League.
He's got 2 in the Carabao Cup. In the Europa League, he's got 1.
So 17.
And then in the FA Cup, 19.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, he didn't play in the FA Cup for you guys. He played the FA Cup last in 21-22. Because you guys lost the FA Cup to
Bristol City.
Yes, I remember watching that. Oh my god, that was one of your worst performances of the season.
He played the home. He scored in the home game, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But that's another like after that he should have gone as well. The manager
They
should have
just
gone after that.
outfought you, Bristol City. They just outfought you.
They kicked the
And
shit out of us. That was an old school Premier League match before VAR. And people were complaining about the ref. I have nothing wrong with them trying to kick the shit out of us. They're in a championship, and people talk about injuries. People talk about injuries for West Ham against Bristol City. They're mid-table championship. You beat them with your under-21s, bro. You got to beat them with your under-21s, no matter what.
It was simple. It was simple. They just outfought you.
Like
no ref can cover for the lack of fight that you guys didn't have on that day and a few others. I remember I watched you guys play Olympiacos away. That was another awful, and I think you made a late sub in that game that fucked it completely. Did you bring up Soucek for? You brought wasn't it a midfield sub late?
I think we brought on. I think we brought on maybe Phillips. I don't know whether it was Phillips. No, it would have been Phillips. It would have been someone else. I think we brought on. I remember Antonio Cornet and Paquetá coming on. I think, or Paquetá started and he scored right at the end, something like that. I don't remember.
Here's what it was. Kudus. Oh, so Alvarez, Ward-Prowse off. Kudus off. Kudus was the one where it was like, why are they bringing off Kudus, bro? And that was when it ease him in. That's when it was 2. Yeah, because you went 2-0 down in the first half. Got a goal late from Paquetá. Oh yeah, that was that sick fucking goal from Paquetá.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, that was the game where it was like, bro, that second half from you guys was dreadful besides the goal.
That's the thing. If he does that Ward-Prowse Soucek midfield, that's the midfield that started in that game. That's getting run through at Newcastle. Even if you do have long stuff, that's getting run through because there's no defensive outlet. There's no balance, and there's no one that's like, I'm gonna sit and you go.
No CDM, really.
Yeah. And Ward-Prowse can't.
We don't either. We don't either though, because Bruno can in certain games. I want a true CDM though. Bruno can play make from deep. But if you're going to do that, we need to play 4-2-3-1 and have a real CDM next to him.
I feel like if we sit back, I think Bruno will be fine with all of that. Like, he would just sit and play. Like, he wouldn't need to do anything. Yeah. If we sit back, we're fucked. I promise you, we're just fucked. You got to take Newcastle by surprise. You got to press them at your own ground. Because how else are we going to get the fucking? If we're not going to get the ball, there's no point of us playing. Because if we don't have the ball, I'm just scared of our defense. I'm just scared that something could happen. Zuma, Mavropanos again.
The threats that we have are Isak and Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon against Soufal might be a problem. Because Soufal used to be a very good 1v1 defender. Now you never know. Like, on his day, you could pocket Gordon. On another day, he could get absolutely slaughtered. Like, with Bowen and Burn, I'm confident Bowen will have him because he had him in the first. In a home game, he had him. And he should have probably got a goal that game. With Antonio on your centre backs, I'm slightly confident, just because
it should be. It's going to be Lascelles and Cher, who's been either awful or amazing. There's no consistency with that guy this season.
Well, if I'm being Cher, yeah, that's
sometimes he just ball watches and he's lazy sometimes, but sometimes he's on it and he's incredible and he can fucking, oh my god, the passing range on the guy and the accuracy is pinpoint. But that it just feels like sometimes he wants to play, sometimes he does. It's so hit or miss with them sometimes this season. So fucking hit or miss. But
what do you think the starting lineup is going to be for you then?
Dubravka, Kraft, Lascelles, Cher, Burn, Bruno G, Willick, Longstaff, fucking Almiron, Isak, Gordon. That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
No Hotman, no Trippier, no Harvey Barnes, no Wilson, no Tonali, no Bruno, or no Joe Ellington, no Lewis Miley.
Yeah.
Much has to be it. Like, unless Paul Dummett's playing left back or something, like, fuck that. So that has to be our team. We have no Livermento either. Like, that has to be our team. Kraft.
He's not going to play Lewis Hall either, is he?
Probably not, no. And he fucking should.
Yeah, he should play left back. He was good at left back last season with Chelsea. He was one of Chelsea's few good players last season.
Yeah, when he didn't play a lot, but he played, I think, like 5 games or something. And against Man City in the Cup, he was one of their better play. Like, oh, that kid has something about him. Okay, he could drive with the ball a bit, look confident. So, but yeah, he's not gonna play, and he should be. Like, it's just that kind of stuff, bro. But yeah, like we're we're not in a good moment right now. So I do kind of expect. I don't think we win the game.
I think this all sets up for a draw. I think this
Draw
is screaming a draw. This game's
one
screaming a draw.
one.
I don't see us winning at St James's Park. Like
Yeah,
we don't win
1-1.
that often. We don't win it. We have the last time we won there was the 4-2 at where
Oh, the
with Steve
first
Bruce.
day of the season in 1920 or something. Yeah,
There was 21-22 that
21,
season. Yeah,
yeah.
obviously Callum Wilson scored. Of course he did.
Yeah.
But that was we were just on fire at the start of the season.
Yes.
We were good that season in the first half of the season, and the second half we was already there, so we didn't really have to do much to get Europe.
Yeah.
But that was the last time we won there. Obviously, last season we drew there. We were just fighting for relegation, so we just had to scrap. And we didn't play badly, but we was overrun in midfield. That's when Aged played really well that game. Last ditch tackles and everything like that. We played three at the back. We played Ogbonna, Kera, and Aged, I'm pretty sure. And we put Ben Johnson on. We was fine. We was fine that game. I was like, I wanted to win, obviously, but a draw was fine. We fight relegation, but in this time we got to control the game, and we don't do that. So that's why I don't see us winning.
Problem is Nottingham Forest, bro. But the problem is that Nottingham Forest, they've had problems all season in terms of like they don't finish their chances and yada yada. They walked up to our place and got a 3-1 win.
Yeah, I watched that game. Yeah,
like
that was a game.
That's the so that's why I'm nervous because I mean, is Kudus definitely in, or is it like a game time sort of thing?
I think the thing is I saw rumors about injury, but I don't think he's injured. I think he's fit. The thing is, if he isn't fit, then I know exactly how we're going to line up. We will line up with Pakistan on the left, Ward-Prowse in the 10, Souček and Phillips behind him, and the rest.
Yeah.
But I think from what I know, Kudus is fit, and honestly, is as long as Antonio's fit at this point, and I'm relying on a 34-year-old up front, but he's an outlet. He's been ever since he's come in. He's changed. He's changed us. We haven't actually won a game when he's come back, but apart from Freiburg.
Yeah.
But the difference is that we're playing better, and the reason why is because you could go long when Antonio's there, not because he's tall, but because he's strong, and you can hold the ball. It might flick off his shin, it might go out of the stadium. That happens sometimes, but he can control it and just spin someone sometimes. You never know what you're going to get. He's like a Sunday League Lukaku.
Yeah.
He's a Sunday League Lukaku. Like exactly. He's like that. Exactly. Like Antonio could do that outside of the foot assist at least once, like every 90 games.
Yeah.
Or he could cut it. Like Antonio feels himself, even though he hasn't scored from outside the box that often. If he cuts it from outside the box, you know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to fall over.
Yeah.
He will shoot, fall over, and the goal is in the disabled section. The ball is in the disabled section, and the poor guy in the wheelchair's off. He's just falling over. Like the ball's just hit him. That's what every time Antonio kicks in, that happens. It's like, but that's what we need. We need an outlet. If you're gonna have a Moyes ball, then you need an outlet. And as long as Kudus and Antonio are fit, I think we'd get a draw.
Yeah,
if they weren't fit,
1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. See, it's screaming a 1-1. This will be a game like, Premier League is back. Who have we got? Newcastle, West Ham. Okay, it should be a good game.
They're gonna be dead or really good because no team has a CDM. No team has any lines in midfield. Yeah.
The thing is, Calvin Phillips, as much as I don't want Calvin Phillips, he should play this game. It's balance. We need balance. And I don't want Souček to play, but he'll play. And Ward-Prowse will be on the bench. So there'll be no Ward-Prowse free kick. He'll probably come on in the 85th minute or something. Because that's what Moyes does. 85-minute subs. Cornet's not fit. There'll be no one off the bench. Divine Mubama is a youngster that should be playing at least as a squad player in the first team. He's not. I'm not saying he's like this Wayne Rooney at 16 sort of player. What I'm just saying is that like it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt playing him.
Give him a chance.
We've got a good youth setup right now, but we've got a manager that doesn't like youth. It reminded me exactly when we had Allardyce. The only time Allardyce played the youth was in the FA Cup against Forest, and we lost 5-0. Never played the youth again. Never played them again. Yeah. So that's the kind of manager we're having. That's the kind of manager we have. But I'm going with a 1-1. Like that screams a 1-1. I reckon Zuma and Mavropanos will probably start centre back. Then one of them will make a mistake. You guys will score, and then we equalise, and then the game becomes cagey from there. We're trying to just both trying to slowly progress throughout the game without making any mistakes. It's just one of them games that just everyone's just trying to be a bit scrappy. Like they scream in one of those games because, but we could like both of us could get Europe, like this season. But are we going to? I don't know. I don't
You're
think. I
only
don't think
3
we're going
points.
to.
The crazy thing is you're 3 points behind Man United. Albeit they have the game in hand, but we know with Man United this season that don't mean anything. They can lose to anybody.
It pissed me off when we lost at their ground 3-0 and we
Oh,
put 22 shots or something like that. Like playing Johnson on the right wing. Don't get me started. The thing is, I shouldn't be this happy for a manager that won us a trophy to go, but it's just the manager has gained his own fan base. It's like if a new manager comes in and he starts off really shit, we know exactly what's going to happen. We told you about David Moyes. You should have kept David Moyes. Now, for example, if Moyes goes, we get another manager and he does shit. That doesn't mean we should have kept Moyes. That just means this manager's doing shit.
Just like how if you break up with your girlfriend and then the new one has issues, it don't mean you should have been with your ex. It's like, no, there's a reason why you departed.
Yeah, they're both psychos.
Yeah. Like, you're both not fit for purpose, man. It don't mean that
exactly.
It's okay to move on and change, but
that's the only thing I'm really afraid of for under a new regime, really. But other than that, like it's just we need a whole new squad pretty much. Like we've got a lot of old people just rolling around the squad still there. A lot of people that are and like there's so many contrasting players. Like, I don't know how these players fit with each other apart from like Paquetá, Kudus, Bowen. Other than them three, I don't know who really fits with each other in attack. We've got Danny Ings still. People forget about that. People forget we have Danny Ings.
I did forget about him.
He played well and then just got dropped. And he came on the other day, scored a goal against Burnley, played really well. We had 2 up front, and then he doesn't play again. Didn't even come on against Aston Villa. Didn't do anything. He would have been motivated as well as against his former club. And Emery didn't want him, kicked him out, come back and score against Emery. But no. Just put on a defender. Why not? We're 1-0 up, put on a defender. That's it. Great idea. Everyone was talking about VAR that game. And as soon as that happened, I was like, nobody's going to talk about that substitution for Antonio for Johnson. Nobody's going to talk about it because of VAR. So it's VAR. I don't care about VAR. It's a 90-minute game. Every game's a 90 minutes.
You can be relying on refs to win you games and do that. Yeah.
If you've been watching the Premier League for at least a year, you know the refs are shit. The refs are shit.
Exactly.
It's not good refs. It's not good refs. So just play the 90-minute game like how it is.
Score more goals than the opposition. If you don't, then guess what? If you have a bad VAR decision at the end of the game, you should have done more.
Exactly. I am going to end it there because we're an hour in. But thank you for coming on, Steve. Obviously, if you're watching this on playback, Steve's link is in the title and the description, so please subscribe. But yeah, social medias are in the description as well if you want to follow me. And we're on the road to 500 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.